I would like for us to move the conversation to a few quick fire questions. Yet again, another opportunity for us to get to know you a little bit better. Let's start the conversation here. What position do you actually play on the turf?
I am a defender. If we have to go into detail, I am a right defender, attacking defender, yeah. So I play defense, and I love it.
Isn't that dangerous though? Because some might argue that hockey is an incredibly dangerous sport.
See, the thing is, if you like danger, then that's your position. If you like being in the firing area, then that's your position. You must be able to protect it. You must be able to protect your circle. So yeah.
So you can handle the danger, that's what you're saying.
I love it.
That's great to hear. Let's talk a little bit about some of those memorable games that you've had throughout your young career thus far. Which games truly stand out for you?
Obviously, the final Varsity Cup against Maltese, that one stands out quite a lot. And also the 2020 Summer Series against the Dutch. Yeah, we are also co-captained last year, January. It was fire.
Tell us a little bit about the fire. You said it was fire. What made that Dutch team so incredibly challenging to play?
You know what? For me, it was not my first it was my first international game playing in the 11th team. But it was so, like, also the Dutch, they like known for hockey. They breathe, eat, sleep hockey. So like it was quite like nerve-wracking knowing that you're playing against the world's best. And I feel like it was just amazing to see like where other countries are with their hockey standards, and being able to play against them was already like mind-blowing. So I felt like this is fire. This is us going against the world's best. So I felt like, yeah, that was a very memorable 2 games of my life.
Definitely. You talk about the Dutch being incredibly difficult to play, but I would like to focus on the 2019 Varsity Hockey tournament. Who were some of the toughest players that you came up against during that tournament?
Tax had a lot of amazing players, very talented players. I know Marty's also was a bit challenging, and also Frustrates. So those 3 teams for me were like a bit challenging because they had a lot of national squad players and a lot of experienced players on their team. So I feel like that's where it went a bit shaky, but we managed.
Oh, beautiful. Let's talk about the 𝗀𝗙cie in terms of the hockey tournament there. How important are these tournaments in terms of growing the sport of hockey in the country? You spoke earlier a little bit about funding. We spoke about the Premier Hockey League. We spoke about varsity hockey as well. All of these tournaments combined, how important are they in terms of just laying a solid foundation for the sport of hockey in the country?
I think they're very important because that's where players find their confidence. Speaking personally, I feel like knowing that I'm playing against the country's best, and also like getting the exposure from these tournaments is very important because that's where also you get selectors, national selectors, and people who come from outside countries. Like that's where players get their exposure from, and it's very important because also I feel like you get to see where you as a player, where you are at compared to other varsities.
Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about senior international players. Are there any players that you've been eyeing internationally that you would love to go up against? You said it earlier, you absolutely love danger as well.
You know, I'm a hockey player, but I'm not really hockey knowledge. The only person that I truly follow is my own role model, and she's South African. So I don't know.
You've mentioned your role model twice. Tell us a little bit more about how you absolutely fell in love with her and what you love about her as an individual, both on and off the court.
See, the thing is, as I said earlier, like I read her story and I felt like I could relate so much to her. And also coming to the Northwest University, as I said, it wasn't planned. I just found myself here. She was also here. She studied here. She also studied teaching. So I feel like we're very similar. And also I feel like the type of player she is on the field, she's more like a sister on the field, and I would want to be that for my players as well. She was captain as well, and like just her demeanor, the way she is, just amazing. And also off the field, she's a nice person. She's kind. I just love her.
Is this the part where you send her a shout out and you say you
Yes.
absolutely
Hi, Sula. Shout out. Thank you for always being there and supporting me and just being in the back of my mind. I just want to be like you when I grow up.
Beautiful. Let's take you away from the sport of hockey. What sports and code would you be involved in professionally?
So I played 𝗀liche netball in primary school. So if I wasn't a hockey player right now, I'd probably be playing for the 𝗀liche netball. That's also another sporting code that I am in love with. So yeah, that's where you would find me sometimes when things are not managing here out here in my head.
All right, beautiful. So you love hockey and you love netball as well. Let's get back onto the hockey turf. What absolutely frustrates you the most during the game when you're playing in that defensive position?
I frustrate myself, to be honest. Like I feel like there's so much expectation as a player. So then if I'm not getting things right, I feel like I'm disappointing my whole defense unit. Yeah, and there's just a lot of things that can go wrong, and you climb in your own head, and it becomes a whole avalanche of frustration.
You're locked onto the Sport MVT Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. Coming up this Friday, our athletes, coaches, and administrators answer the questions that you have always wondered about. If you haven't sent through your questions yet, just slide into our DMs, tell us your name, where you're from, and leave your questions, and we will make sure that we ask them. Keep it locked onto Sport MVT, where we celebrate women in sport.